Good morning everyone, still going. So last time I spoke to you, look, bouncy camera again. Last time I spoke to you, I told you I had 300 kilometres. That was wrong, only because I've not done this before. I didn't really work it out beforehand, but the actual journey itself is over 1,000 kilometres. That 300 kilometres was just to the next road junction, really. So yesterday I did I've done that 300, another 100. I've probably done the best part of 600-700 kilometres yesterday. The bit I'm on now, this road, I've only got 24 kilometres at the moment on this one left. This is the next morning, by the way. Good morning. Day 2. So I'm on my way to Mont Blanc, the Mont Blanc tunnel. Never been there before. Apparently it's a very long tunnel going under the Mont Blanc, so it will be long, won't it? It's a big old mountain, that. Stopped at the services last night. Not bad sleep. The lorries, noisy buggers, they all congregate. You get all the Polish and Spanish, Italians. They congregate around a bunch of tables and chairs and have a party. Drinking, eating lovely food, got the old cookers out. Surely they can't do that nightly. It might be just a weekend thing. Sort this camera out there. Making me seasick watching you bouncing around. Put something under there. See if that works. Yeah, that's falling out. Drop it down a bit. See if that stops it. A little bit better. Yeah, so a little bit noisy up until around midnight they were, so I don't know what they're doing about their working hours. They seem to have, well, the sleeping hours, they probably get away with sleeping 2 or 3 hours, that lot. Or they're going to sleep during the morning. Mind you, it is Sunday now, and I was told that trucks, Arctics, can't drive, can't be used on a Sunday. But I have seen a few. As it happens, there's a couple going down the other side of the carriageway now, so I don't know what that rule's all about. But that lot last night, maybe they're not going anywhere today, and that's why they were drinking and being merry. Don't blame them. Boring life on the road. Meet up with your brethren and have a party, why not? So I'm heading down this this motorway, and by the way, these motorways are stunning. I might have said that yesterday. Just clean, beautiful tarmac everywhere, absolutely everywhere. I've not seen any bad roads yet on this run. But when I went to Germany a few weeks ago, parts of Germany were quite bad and potholy. Most of it was nice tarmac though. But in the UK, it's shit, isn't it? The roads are rubbish. But the reason for that is Europe have got a massive pool of money for the infrastructure. I mean, you've got all these countries in Europe that pay into this pool. And so when they need to resurface a road, they don't just do a patch of a couple of metres. They do the whole damn thing. Whereas us in the UK, we've got our government that, oh Christ no, if we need to resurface a road, we've got to plan it for 5 years, and then we'll just do that patch of a few metres. Or if they do one whole stretch of a motorway, it has to be in a really poor condition to do it. Or they'll just do a lane. They don't do lanes here. They'll do all the lanes. I mean, I was driving down some motorways yesterday for hours, and they were lovely new tarmac, and on the other carriageway it was still the old tarmac, and they're getting the machinery ready to do that whole section. I'm talking miles and miles and miles of fresh tarmac. No cracks on the stuff that's not brand new. Well, I'm just coming off of the new bit now, and the tarmac's no different. It's lovely, lovely, lovely to drive on and ride on. A few weeks ago when I came down, sorry, a couple of years ago when I came down this route, with a mate of mine to go through the Alps. Yeah, lovely to ride on with your bike, and you can trust the road's not going to be potholey on a bend or anything, which is not what you want on two wheels. So I'm heading towards, down this motorway, it's heading towards Grenoble. Come to Mont Blanc Tunnel. Before that, you have to show your pass, and then you're given a ticket, and off you go. If you don't, it's quite a big fine. You can still get through it, but you'll get fined at the end of it, apparently. So I've got a folder full of cards, the diesel cards, this, that and the other. I'm just going to pull them all out and offer the lot to them and see which one they pick up. You know, here's a card, pick a card. It's probably a white one, I think. There's a white card there that I haven't used yet. So it's a 5.5 hour journey in total to get to my delivery point, and it hasn't got to be delivered until tomorrow at 12 o'clock. And from when I left this morning, it's 5.5 hour journey to Lake Garda, where I've got to go. So instead of waiting somewhere and going there tomorrow at 12, I'm just going to plod on straight to it now and find somewhere to rest up and go and do some sightseeing, and then do the delivery tomorrow afternoon while I'm there. And this items that are on the truck will be delivered at 12 o'clock on Monday, tomorrow, and then I've got to pick them all back up again on Tuesday and take them back to Blighty, all the way back to the UK. They're only going to be used down here for a day and a bit. It's just someone that's got a load of money. They've worked for it all their life apparently, and can't say too much about it, I'm not allowed to, but cut a long story short of stuff I can't say, basically, they want these items, they're going to use them, and then I've got to take them back again because they can. And wouldn't you? I would. If you're going to go from A to B and you want something that's in A taken for you, you pay someone to do it, and that's basically what I'm doing. I'm being paid to ship stuff around the world, Europe at the moment, and I'm really happy to do it. So there we go. Still doing 56 mile an hour, 90 kilometres. Can't go any quicker, as I said, this truck's restricted, as they all are. HGVs can't speed. Some European trucks do speed. The international speed limit for an Arctic or a rigid or anything over 7.5 tonne is no more than 60 miles an hour. So if any of these trucks, home or abroad, go over 60 mile an hour, their tachos will know about it, and so will their driving licences, but you still see them do it. You know, I'm doing 90 at the moment, so that's 56. 56. If I take it off of cruise control, I can add another 2 mile an hour to that. I'll do 58. But it goes up and down the kickdown as if you're trying to overtake, and then it restricts itself just before it hits 59. Not interested in that kind of ride, so I'll just leave it at 56 and do what it's got to do at that, you know. Cruise along. And what I've been doing is listening to podcasts to keep me awake and keep my mind going. Podcasts on stuff I'm interested in, motor racing, travel, stuff like that. And I'm also starting to learn French, because I'm going to be going through France most of my working career now. Let these boys out. And so with that, I really need to pick up a bit more French. I can make do with what I know. There's not a lot, but you know, the niceties, the please, the thank yous, a couple of questions, where's the toilet, stuff like that. I can do the basics, but I want to be able to speak to them kind of fluently. It's going to take some time, but with these long hours and hours of driving, why not make use of the phone that's sitting there doing nothing? So I'm doing French lessons on there, and it's interactive. I don't need to look at the screen. There are French lessons where you need to look at the words. I'm not doing that. I'm just listening and answering what they're saying and repeating it until I get it right, and it works. Pay a little bit of money for it, but that's not a problem. It's worth doing, because you get more respect from the French, and the same wherever you go, if you can speak their lingo a little bit. You don't need to be fluent, but you need to just be able to understand what they're saying to you. You know, we don't like it when people come to the UK and you hear them talking amongst themselves. And you know, back in the 60s, 70s, right up to the 80s, I remember people saying to a foreigner, "Oi," they go, "Oi, speak English," and they go, "Oh, sorry," and then they speak English. You can't do that these days because of these snowflakes. But oh, I shouldn't have said snowflakes, sorry about that, but what I mean by that is, back then you were classic. If you weren't like that back then, you were a bit of a snowflake. You know, you're supposed to be British and stand up for the British. But now we don't do that so much. We're metropolis, you know, we're multicultural. We got people from all over the world coming to the UK, and they can bloody well do what they want. Well, it's not for me to say whether I agree to that or not. I've got my own opinions. Getting back on track, coming to Europe, I believe you should speak their language a bit, as we want people to speak the, you know, English when they come to the UK. So that's what I'm trying to do. Christ, I've just gone over the top of this hill. I'm coming down this motorway, and in the distance the Alps are in front of me. Wow. I'm going to take some pictures and put them on the on YouTube with this, so you will see what I'm seeing at some point. I've got another camera looking out front. There's a whole city in front of me as well in the distance. Not sure what that one is. I've gone past Dijon. I'm not sure what this place is I'm going to be coming up towards. Anyway, so there we are. So within about 4.5 hours, I'm going to be at my point of my destination, so that would be Lake Garda. So I'll probably do a little update then, or maybe later on, but at some point I'll do a bit more than I did yesterday. Apologies for not giving you much content, and it's not much at the moment to show. I mean, I'm looking around me, a huge city just opening up in front of me with its little boroughs all round it. I'll come past a sign now to go into this place. I can't pronounce it. I'm not even going to try it because I can't speak French yet. So it might even be the outskirts of Lyon, but I don't think it is, because last sign I saw was 160 kilometres to Lyon. It's not Lyon. I don't know what it is, but anyway, I'm waffling on. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Desmondo is driving around Europe, delivering freight of all sorts of makes, models, types. Talking about makes and models, I don't know if you guys know, some of you will know, that I've restored a 1984 Ford Capri, a 1.6 laser, and I've put it back to how it was, a 1.6 laser. I haven't put a 2 litre in, as most people do when they have a 1.6 Pinto engine vehicle, or what they did. And there's not many 1.6s around the world anymore, because people did that, you know, they dumped the 1.6 because it was a bit underpowered, and they put the 2 litre in, and then upwards from that, you know, they went for the 2.1, 2.3, 2.8, 3 litre. There's all sorts of engines that can be crammed into those things. But the 1.6, I rebuilt the whole thing, engine, gearbox, from every nut and bolt onwards, all rebuilt. Lots of original stuff on it still, but some parts had to be replaced or repaired. So I went to a petrol station, one of the petrol stations I stopped at yesterday, and after paying, I came out of the service station area, and there was an open car transporter sat there with a Capri on the back of it. Couldn't believe my eyes. Mark 1, and it's a 1.7. Now, in the 80s, 70s and 80s, I was into cars big time, as I still am. And I'd never seen a 1.7 Ford Capri, Cortina or anything with a 1.7 in it like that, Ford wise. Yeah, you had your 1.7 Hunter and Hillman Hunter and the 1.7 this, 1.7, but not in a Ford Capri, and this thing sat there, 1.7 GT, Mark 1. And then the guy came out after paying for his fuel, a French fella, and I couldn't help myself. I just said, mate, that's a lovely car. And he spoke perfectly good English, and I felt guilty for not speaking French. But anyway, yeah, he said, oh, thank you. He said, I've just driven 6 hours from Spain, taking it to Paris. I bought it for my dad, because my dad had one. He said, wow, you know, what a gesture. And it was in really good condition. I had a walk around it. I didn't ask him the financial part of it. I didn't really want to get too evasive like that, so I just admired it really. Took a picture, showed him a picture of mine. Of course he wasn't that interested in mine because it's a Mark III.
Take the exit A432 towards Chambéry.
Okay, I've got to come off this motorway. Yeah, so the motorway I'm coming off goes to Lyon, so that metropolis ahead, it is Lyon.
Take the exit, then keep left.
So, taking the exit, heading on the road that takes you to Marseille, Grenoble, Saint-Etienne, and I'm heading towards the Grenoble side, and it's a toll. So I'm just going to do this toll.
After 200 metres, keep left, then take the motorway.
Oh,
keep
no.
left, then take the motorway.
No. The toll takes you into Clermont, which I'm not going to. The road I'm on takes me around the tolls. Get onto another motorway and head on up to Grenoble, which is up in the Alps actually, Grenoble. So I don't know what else to talk about really. I suppose food. Let's go for food. So in the UK you get up for breakfast and you've got a lot of choices, haven't you? You can, as you know what I'm going to say, continental food. Jesus. If you like pastries, donuts, you know, fill your boots. I'm not into all that. I don't like all that stuff too much. It gives me acid burning. Oh, so yeah, we have got more tolls.
Follow
No worries.
A432 towards Chambéry for 21 kilometres.
Right, so I've got an automatic tag on this vehicle, so I've only got to approach the barrier and it should lift straight away as I approach it. There you go, it bleeped. Green light, there it is, off we go. Look at that, didn't even get lower than 15 miles an hour then. That's good, straight through. Yeah, so food wise, breakfast, let's start with breakfast. So as a trucker you can take a bag of food with you. I bought myself a fridge. It's one of these 12-volt jobs, works okay, but as soon as you turn the vehicle off, it's off. So it's pretty useless really for an overnight stop in where I'm going, in Italy, Spain and that, and Germany. This time of year it's bloody hot, 26 degrees yesterday. So I'm not going to trust the food going off. Yeah, it's a fridge and it should hold its temperature for a few hours, but not at sort of between 20 and 26 degrees overnight. That ain't going to do it. I'm sure it won't, and I don't want to take the risk, you know, being on the road with service stations that are quite sparse. In some, you know, you can go an hour without coming across the toilet. You don't want to do that if you've got a bad tummy, do you? So I've put the bloody fridge away. I'm not taking the chance, and I'm just buying tin stuff. Microwave. There's a microwave here in the van. It's not very good. The power supply for it keeps shutting off because the microwave is too powerful for it, or the inverter needs to be a bigger inverter. After 30-40 seconds it just shuts down. So I've bought stuff that can be microwaved within 30-40 seconds, and you're talking junk food. That's why truckers are fat buggers, because you're eating junk all the time. Not very good food. So going back to the breakfast, there's no cereals available. Not that I've seen. You know what I mean? You go to hotels, yeah, they give you a bit more at hotels, but when you're reduced to service stations, you've usually got a counter that supplies donuts, pain au chocolat, a few baguettes with cheese and ham and cheese in, and then you've got weird stuff like these. You can't read that because it's all shaky in it, but right, that alarm's telling me I've gone over the line just because I'm just going through roadworks. So I'm a meat eater, you know. I like my eggs, my bacon, stuff like that. Now, that packet I showed you, there's these little sausages, but they're I don't even know what the meat is. I want to say pepperami. It's a bit like pepperami, but they've stuffed them with cheese as well. I don't know how they've done it. Oh no, these aren't. That's the other packet I've got. These ones are just like pepperami, but fatter. So that's my breakfast. A packet of them. I've had a coffee. I'm sorry you're watching me eat now. I've had a coffee. I've got water. A packet of those. That's my breakfast. I'm not going to go down the pastry route every morning. Sod that. But when it comes to food, you that know me know that I like my food. I'm not a drinker. I'm not a big drinker. I look the size of a fella that would go drinking while he's playing darts and then down a curry. No, that's not me. I don't drink a lot. When I go out with my mates, rarely. I'll knock them back then. But as a weekly drinker, nightly drinker, no, I don't do it. So it's food for me, to my detriment, to my weight and everything. But when I'm abroad, I don't want to do the tourist thing, and I won't do the tourist thing. I won't go and eat McDonald's, Burger King, Subway, all the stuff you find all over the world for tourists. I won't do that. You can get it at home. I want to eat as the locals eat, and I tend to get away from the tourist areas and go further deeper inland, or just to get away from the tourist areas really, and go to restaurants and bars and tapas bars and stuff like that. Do what they do. This is where you need to learn their language a bit, unless you're lucky and they've picked up English as a second language in their schools usually. See, France and Spain, you kind of get away with it. Spain not so much, but it's not so bad. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. When I get to Lake Garda, I'm going to go searching for authentic Italian food. I know Lake Garda is a tourist area. I'm not going to stay eating there. I'm going to travel around a little bit. See, after Tuesday, when I pick up these items to take back to the UK, I've got a day to myself. They haven't got to be back by Friday, till Friday, so I've got Wednesday to myself, and I'll set off again Thursday. So I'm going to search for authentic, I ain't got to search far, I'm in Italy then, aren't I? So I'm just going to go to authentic Italian places. I'm going to sit outside, sit inside, wherever, and then you got your proper Italian food. I won't be able to read the menus, but I've got apps where you can take a picture of the menu and it then translates it for you. hopefully they don't look at that as rude. They shouldn't do, because I'm going to be eating in their establishment. So that's my plan. This French breakfast that I've just had and all that. I can't be too far. It's got 100. I've just gone past the sign. 100 kilometres to Grenoble, and like Mont Blanc is probably halfway between here and there. So I've got about 50k to get to Mont Blanc. I think that's only guessing. So shortly I'm going to pull over in a service station somewhere, or in one of these truck stops. And in Europe there are some really nice truck stops here. They're not pissy smelling lay-bys like we've got in the UK. These are really nice. So I'm going to pull over there and I'm going to find this Mont Blanc card. So I've got everything prepared, and I draw up to the gate, offer it to them, they give me a ticket, and off we go again. I don't want to have to be searching when I get there. So I'll end this video on this point here, and then later on I'll do a bit more. Okay, so as I said before, thanks for watching. I'm really pleased that I've got a bit of an audience. Happy with that. If I can help anyone in any way, in your comments you can comment, question me, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. If you want me to tell you anything else about my journey, not just this journey and going to Italy, but my journey in the HGV world, you know, just send me a question. And this is where the subscription comes in. You don't pay, like I said before. This is not a subscription like you're going to get, you know, your iTunes and stuff like that. You don't pay no money with this. All it is you get updated when I've got a new video out, or you'll be, you know, the subscribers get the content first, and so you haven't got to go searching for me. You'll just get a message tell you that Dasmondo's got a new video out. So please subscribe, and then you'll find all the stuff that comes up, and then you can go through the older stuff as well. And if you haven't, try going from day one, because I'm sure there'll be stuff in there. If you're an HGV learner, you'll find stuff in there that'll be handy for you. And as I said, give us a thumbs up if you like what I'm doing, or if there's something you didn't like, you can give me the thumbs down and let me know what I've done wrong. Alright, but I'll keep this going. I'll keep telling you what I'm doing, so long as I've got people watching it. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will speak to you later. Cheers.